Well, we are back in the shop today, and guess what's on the menu? Le Mans. So we're going to get back on this quarter panel, get that. Hopefully we'll have that buttoned up today and this roof done. So let's get into it. So we left off. I just got to sand. Hopefully this will be the last bit of blocking on the top on this roof. Just hit these little areas I touched up. And hopefully that roof will be done and ready to prime. And then we got the quarter down here. So we cut out that little bit of a hole, made a little patch that slams in there. I'm going to get this bottom piece fabbed up so that I can just slap that whole piece in as a unit and get it welded. And then we'll get in and start removing all this rusted junk out of here and make patches for this little section. So we'll get all that buttoned up, and then hopefully we can just slap our quarter on and start welding it in. So this is always kind of the tedious detail work. So let's get that done so we don't got to deal with it. So I'm just kind of easing into my day before I sit on the floor and eat sparks. So I figured I'll get this top knocked out and just make sure it's good to go. So when you're doing this, like I was hoping this would be all done, but there's a couple little things here, and a guy's going to be tempted to try and sand those out, and what you're going to do is put a dent in there. So just when I'm all done, I'll go back. There's probably going to be maybe a couple little things like this that I'm going to have to touch up, but the rest of this is all feathered out real nice. It's smooth, blended in. And then just pay attention to your body lines, you know, and it's just like, this is pretty sharp still, and this has got a little bit more of a radius, so I'll just have to soften that line a little bit. But yeah, just whenever you get something, and I know I'm guilty of it back when I was learning, but I would just think like, well, I'll just sand that out. It won't be anything, but it will show up. So just take a little bit of mud and just barely, you know, just do a nice little tight and fill that in, and it'll save you a lot of hassle later, because when you prime it and start blocking, guess what? That's going to show back up. So anyway, that's just a little tip. Well, we got the whole roof blocked, and so far that little spot right there is about the only thing I got to touch up. So I'm not going to mix just a tiny little bit of mud for that. The rest of this is all good. So I still, on this back edge here, there's a couple little rumples. So when I do these little things here, I'll just use a little bit and touch up that little corner right there, and that way I'm not wasting anything, and it's just quick and easy. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is get this worked out a little bit and get that mudded so I can get on the quarter panel. Alrighty, so I mixed up some for this back piece here. I just did a little touch up there. Yeah, and then this back I was able to, actually I could come in, there's a dent that was right here, and I was able to get in up underneath here and push it out and get her tapped down, and then yeah, I just got that smeared, so that should sand out pretty quick. And this roof is pretty much, oh yeah, I did touch up a couple little spots I found on here once I blew everything off. So always blow your mud off really good. You know, you'll find little pinholes, little doodads here and there, so just blow it off, check it out, feel around, make sure you're not feeling any sharp edges or anything that might need to be feathered out more. But yeah, so but once this and these couple little pieces are done, this roof is, I think, ready to prime. So we're going to cross this off the list tonight, and I'm going to move on to that quarter panel while this is setting up. So I've moved on to this inner panel piece, and I went ahead and got this bottom portion just kind of tack welded in there and stuff so that we can get this. Now we got to make this lip around the front, and then we can cut everything free and we'll weld it into here. So this is all fitting in pretty nice, and yeah, I think this is going to work out pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and make this front lip, and then once we get it all cut out, we'll have to kind of move things around and manipulate it where it's sitting on top of stuff still, but we're super close to having this thing patched up. So this is going to be my inner lip that's going to go right on the face of this. This is all going to get cut off. And as you see, it kind of comes down, swoops around, and it basically comes to a point down here. So I'm trying to make this look as close to factory, even though the quarter panel is going to go over the top and layer over this. But it's just something that's like, I try and make it look as close as it was supposed to. So I don't know, with the whole process in these cars, if it doesn't kind of look like it did factory, then you probably need to do it over again, you know, or I don't know. And some of this isn't going to matter that much. I mean, it's, like I said, it's going to get bed lined, it's going to get, you know, covered up, and I mean, this is all underneath. But again, I'm just kind of like, if you're going to do it, you may as well try and do it right. So, yeah. And then I'm not going to weld this onto my piece. So here's my piece here. And this is going to sit right like that. So it's making that inner lip. And then so I'm going to get this lip cut off of here. So everything sits in tight and where it's supposed to be. I can now cut this bottom piece off. I'm going to make a little reference so I know where the edge is and stuff in here. So yeah, when I set that piece in, it's going to go in, sit where it needs to be, then I can weld that edge in. Because if I weld my edge to this, it's probably going to be too fat and sitting in the wrong spot. So we need to get this thickness out of here so that it can sit back where it needs to be. And most likely, I'll end up having to grind this edge just a little bit to get everything to sit nice and tight in here. So, yeah, I'm going to get this and that out of the way now. All right, so I got all this stuff cut out. This lip is now all gone, and everything can sit in. And then I went ahead just to see where this rust up this fender is going. I just kind of exposed a little bit of that. And I hit pretty good and hard with a screwdriver. It poked through here, so I'm probably going to cut almost up into here somewhere. I'll have to probably open this a bit more so I got some room to work. But yeah, I'm going to cut this lip out, bring it down. And then, so my piece I made, this is where it comes up to and over to here. So I just got to make a little piece that comes down, fills this in, and then my other piece is going to spot weld to that. So that'll get rid of this whole little pocket of pinhole stuff. It's not horrible, but I'm going to fix it. So, yeah, I guess we can get all that cut out too. All right, so I kind of got all this figured out here. I'm going to go ahead and cut this little portion out. I made a little piece that's going to go in here and kind of ties in with my other existing pieces. And then I'll just have to cut that lip and redo that. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get that cut out and we'll put the new stuff in. Okay, so that is all cut out. I've got a little piece that I'm fitting in right here that's going to fill that in and hook into all this other stuff up here to rebuild all that inner. And then our other piece down here will go in and overlap that. So let's fit all this together. Alrighty, so I got that little chunk tacked in there now, and then we'll just bring up this little piece. It'll make this radius down, and that should replace all that inner stuff finally. Alrighty, so this has been just a puzzle piece of, I mean, we've trimmed a bunch out, we've cut and manipulated this stuff all around, but I'm not quite factory on this, but the way I'm doing this, everything's going to kind of be integrated together. So my panel, I got all this stuff put in now, and then this panel, like I say, when you put it in, you should be able to just slap it up, and I mean, everything's pretty close here now. So if I start tacking everything here, I can just start kind of working it in, getting everything to flow and blend in and stuff. And yeah, I think we're gonna have her made. So, but I think that's it for tonight. So again, this all took a lot longer than I thought it was gonna, but it is what it is. So we'll have this done. The roof is almost done. So like I say, this stuff, you come out and you try and get stuff done, and I mean, we made progress and everything, but we're not as far as we wanted to be. But we'll have her done tomorrow, I swear. Well, as I said before, this stuff takes time and patience. So yeah, I'm still every day I say I'm going to get this quarter in, but I don't know. We're getting there though. But this little bit, it's worth taking the time to do that. If everything underneath is rusty and you got water and junk coming in, all these repairs mean nothing. So this I'm happy to do. It's taken longer. And like I say, I've done it out of a bunch of little pieces. I mean, you tend to want to, you know, there's some guys could probably make this out of 1 or 2 pieces or whatever, you know, but to me, it's a lot faster just to whip it together out of a couple pieces that you can handle. Because a lot of this is, there's some compound curves. There's, you know, it's got edges that are 90-degree breaks on them. And once you do that, you add that much strength to it. And you can't hardly manipulate this metal, or you got to shrink and stretch and do a bunch of junk. So for me, and just doing it in the shop with basic tools, yeah, it's a puzzle. But we've got it put together and we're winning. So anyway, we'll continue on this tomorrow. And yeah, the roof will be done tomorrow. And this, I don't know, but we're going to try. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.